Phoebe Cates was one of the biggest stars of the 1980s, but as she hasn't appeared in a movie in a long time, fans wonder what happened to her. Cates was launched to stardom as Linda Barrett in the classic high school comedy Fast Times at Ridgemore High. The scene with Linda at the swimming pool, imagined by her best friend Stacey Hamilton's brother Brad, has become one of the most iconic moments in movie history. Cates continued to appear in movies regularly throughout the rest of the 80s and into the 90s, but then she stopped starring in films. It's been more than 2 decades since Cates appeared in a movie, and her last appearance before that was almost another decade prior. Aside from a brief voice role in a video game in 2015, Cates hasn't worked as an actor in years. It's tough for actors, even famous ones like Cates, to find regular work, and there is an assumption among some that Cates hasn't been able to find work. However, the reality about what happened to Phoebe Cates is that she willingly left Hollywood behind. What Phoebe Cates has done since Fast Times at Ridgemore High. From Gremlins to Princess Caraboo. After Fast Times at Ridgemore High launched her to stardom, Cates worked steadily throughout the rest of the 1980s. In 1983, she co-starred with Matthew Modine and Betsy Russell in the comedy Private School. She sang 2 songs on the soundtrack, Just One Touch and How Do I Let You Know? In 1984, she played Lily Lace in the TV miniseries Lace and love interest Kate Beringer in the hit horror comedy Gremlins. Cates reprised these roles in 1985's Lace 2 and 1990's Gremlins 2, The New Batch, respectively. She also starred in 1987's Date with an Angel, 1988's Bright Lights, Big City, and 1989's Shag and Heart of Dixie. In 1990, Cates made an uncredited cameo appearance alongside her husband Kevin Kline in the dark comedy I Love You to Death. She played Lizzie Cronin in the 1991 comedy Drop Dead Fred, Carol in the 1993 drama Bodies, Rest and Motion, and appeared as herself in the 1993 comedy My Life's in Turnaround. Her final starring role was in the 1994 biopic Princess Caraboo, in which she played the titular role of Mary Baker and again starred alongside her husband. Since then, the only on-screen acting that Cates has done was playing the supporting role of Sophia Gold in the 2001 dramedy The Anniversary Party. Phoebe Cates hasn't acted since 2001, is she retired? Anniversary Party marks Cates' final on-screen role to date. Phoebe Cates smiling in The Anniversary Party. Cates has retired from acting, and she had actually retired a few years before she appeared in The Anniversary Party in 2001. In 1994, after starring in Princess Caraboo, Cates stepped away from acting to focus on raising her children, Owen and Greta, via the New Zealand Herald, who have since become a successful filmmaker and musician, respectively. She came out of retirement to play the role of Sophia in The Anniversary Party as a favor to her friend and Fast Times at Ridgemore High castmate Jennifer Jason Leigh, who co-wrote, co-directed, co-produced, and co-starred in the movie with Alan Cumming. Since then, the only acting that Cates has done was some brief voice work for the 2015 video game Lego Dimensions, in which she reprised her Gremlins role as Kate Beringer. A bunch of movie stars reprised their roles in the Lego Dimensions cast, from Will Arnett as Lego Batman to Sean Astin as Samwise Gamgee to Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly. Most actors just allowed the video game's producers to use archive sound of their characters, like Bill Murray as Dr. Peter Venkman, but Cates was one of the few who came in to record new lines for the game. What Phoebe Cates is doing now. Cates opened her own business. Phoebe Cates in her waitress uniform from Fast Times at Ridgemore High. Phoebe Cates might not be acting anymore, but she's been keeping busy. In 2005, she opened a boutique called Blue Tree on Madison Avenue in New York. The store sells a wide range of products, including clothes, antiques, jewelry, perfume, candles, art, photography, books, vintage LPs, and stuffed animals. Cates' appearance in Lego Dimensions suggests that she hasn't given up on acting entirely. If the right role or the right opportunity comes along, she's open to returning to acting. Maybe she'll do some more voice work, or even some on-camera appearances, in the future. Phoebe Cates remains an 80s movie icon. Her Fast Times at Ridgemore High scene remains a pop culture legend. Despite the fact that Phoebe Cates has left the world of acting behind, she is still remembered by many fans as an icon of the 1980s. Movies like Gremlins continue to cement her popularity as it is a classic many fans return to every holiday season. Cates' monologue about why she does not believe in the Christmas spirit is one of the standout moments from the film and has become a darkly comedic favorite. Of course, the moment that has really cemented her in movie history of Cates' red bikini scene in Fast Times at Ridgemore High. The scene wonderfully captures the relatable fantasy mind of a teen boy with hilarious results. However, the scene would never have been as successful or memorable were it not for Cates' performance. She looks amazing in the legendary outfit, immediately becoming a sex symbol of the 80s era. More impressively, Kate gets big laughs with her hilarious reaction to walking in on Brad in the aftermath of the moment, showcasing her comedic chops. While Kate's talents as an actor go far beyond this scene, the fact that the moment from Fast Times at Ridgemont High is still being parodied and discussed in pop culture, in everything from Family Guy to Stranger Things, makes it obvious that Kate's will be remembered by fans for many years to come.